Kevin was training to be a lorry mechanic in Enniskillen. He was 17, fit to do anything with his hands. He could have fixed anything. He was a brilliant son. Every Friday night he and his friends headed to Clonus, but they always had a taxi. That Friday he took a lift. He was the passenger. It was after 1 in the morning when I was woken up. We went out to the roadside to the crash and I saw him at the roadside. I knew in my heart he was gone.
A powerful new DOE ad campaign, Crashed Lives, can be seen on our screens across Northern Ireland from this week on. It features Fermanagh woman June Curran, who lost her 17-year-old boy Kevin McChesnie, who was a passenger killed in a car driven by a teenager who was over the limit at the time of the crash. 18 months on from her son's death, she found the courage to share her heartache.
To ourselves that know what it's like, any mothers or families that have had a child lost in a car accident, they know the pain of it. And that's why we would be trying to put a message out to try and stop young ones from drink driving, speeding, whatever. Like, things is never going to get any better. We're living around it. But that was the reason I wanted to do that, because I didn't want to see any mothers suffering, any more mothers suffering from this. It was really, really hard to revisit it. It would have took approximately 4 to 4.5 hours to actually film the ad, and you just didn't have to say the one sentence once, maybe 20 times, and each time you said that, it was cutting into you more. So it wasn't easy to do it, but I got there because it was something I wanted to do.
The advert will initially run from the 9th of January to the end of February, but June still has her own personal battles to deal with over her son's death. Both her and her family are still trying to come to terms with what they believe to be a lenient 9 months jail sentence for Peter Smith, the young man driving the car on the night of her son's death.
This ad, I'm hoping it'll do a lot of good, but with the court giving a sentence like that, that's not going to help any young ones. They're going to think, well, we'll get away with it. We'll only get a small amount of time to do drink and drive, speed, whatever. And that's just like they're going against what these ads are actually saying. It's something I believe in, and I wouldn't have had it any other way to do it. It was a struggle, but I managed, and I would have fought to the end till I had it done. People talk about accidents, but if you go out driving over the limit, you know what can happen. And that's not an accident in my eyes.